And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is going to be the 7 things that you guys should know about the new Conquest mode. Now, thank my patrons for kind of kicking me in the butt because they were asking me, what have you learned over the last 2 days? That's right. It has only been 2 days about the Conquest mode. And there are actually a number of things that have really jumped out at me, things that a bunch of us in the guild were talking about. And we were like, that's not obvious, or that wasn't apparent. There were some other things that were kind of apparent, but we saw on Facebook, a lot of people were asking about. And so I was like, this is kind of a conclusive list of things that everybody should know, maybe know, or maybe don't know. But I figured I would go ahead and put them all on kind of a top 7 list. Now, some of the things I talk about, you yourself may know, but I promise you there's something on this list that will edify you and make you a better player for this mode. So hopefully this is going to help you on. Make sure you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy a normal video from Warrior. All right, now number 1 is the number 1 thing in this entire mode over the next 2 weeks is you want to earn the biggest crate that you can possibly earn, and you're going to do that through these crate cards and these key cards. And the way you want to do that is collect them. Now there's 4 total places that you're going to get these key cards from. Now the most obvious that you're going to notice is when you do your battles. If you get a 1 star, you're going to get 1 key card. If you get 2 stars, 2 key cards, and 3 stars, 3 key cards. That's not something that is revelatory, but just something that you know. That's where you get your majority of your key cards. Now, when you get to the end, you're going to get to a boss battle, and you're going to notice there is a significant more amount of key cards at that boss battle. So we're going to talk about that. Now, when you go through, if you don't 3-star, that's okay. You're still going to get the currency that you earn, the 10 currency you earn, no matter whether you get a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star. So just win and move on. I'm going to explain why you don't need to clean up your stars for now. You can always go back after the fact to clean that up. You've got 2 weeks to do that. And there's strategy involved in clearing the whole thing and then going back after the fact to run after those last few key cards if needed. But definitely get as many key cards as you can, move on and move through these sections. Now, much like I said, after you're moving through, even if you get a 1-star on a specific node, you can always go back to that node. When you get to a boss battle, you'll notice where it says enemies, you can click the little arrow. Now, a lot of people obviously know this. Not everyone noticed this. This is how you're going to find how to get those extra key cards. And you can notice I did unsupportive, which was a ability to get 5 extra key cards by not using any supports. Opportunistic advance, which was attacking out of turn 20 times. And then the last one, hindered movement. I still need to do this feat by doing this battle and winning and doing 700% turn meter reduction. So I'll need to do that still to get those 5 key cards. But this is where you're going to find those boss battle feats. Also, when you're scrolling through and doing all your battles for, let's say, Sector 2, you'll notice on the bottom left, you're going to see feats, and this is Sector 2 feats specific. It's going to give you a little theme of some feats. For example, attack out of turn 50 times, support. This is grant 50 buffs to allies, and Jedi, win 7 battles with Jedi. Now, what's cool is this is kind of a theme for this sector. Now, you don't have to fulfill these, but if you do these, they give you rewards of 5 key cards each. So this is 15 more key cards that you can earn in advance. So this is a pretty good thing you want to do, and it's not too difficult. Basically, to get this, you're going to want to use your Jedis or your Geonosians or your Rebels, because you're going to get a lot of buffs. You're going to attack out of turn, and if you use your Jedi, you're going to get 7 battles. You can do 7 battles. And the other thing is, with those battles is if you wanted to do a repeat, such as you wanted to just go earn the feat on the whatever the easiest node for you was. Let's say, this was the easiest node for you to beat with your Jedi. You could replay this specific node to over and over 7 times over the next 2 weeks to earn that specific feat, to get that specific thing. You don't have to do different battles to get 7 different unique wins. You can win on the same node over and over as long as it's 7 Jedi wins. So know that you don't have to do a different battle for every single unique win to earn for that specific feat. And then lastly, you've got the key cards you earn from the battles. You've got the sector specifics, which again, each sector has a very specific feat. And like, for example, this one, there's Lucky Shot, Inflict Marked 20 times, and Disarmed. And each time you get more key cards. And there's those, what we call feat, sector feats that you get, and then you get your boss battle feats like we just showed at the end. The last thing for feats is going to be an event feats. Event feat is right here, and this you're going to get by the end of it, and it's all of these that are listed here. And basically over the accumulation of the entire event, you're going to want to do 750 criticals, 10 battles with no tanks, 400 enemies with victories, and 35 light side battles, 35 dark side battles. So it's an accumulation, and each one's going to give you an additional 9 key cards every time you do this. So this is accumulation over every single battle over the entire 2-week event. Now, tip number 2, I kind of briefly mentioned, but a lot of people don't understand why I'm making this suggestion, but I do highly recommend it. Me, myself, and I, when I started playing this, I got really caught up in being OCD. And in my first 2 sectors, I spent a bunch of energy trying to make sure I got every single battle 3-starred, and I got every single key card and all of this. And I spent a bunch of extra energy. And I also spent a bunch of my characters, their capabilities, every time they do a battle, they dwindle down, and trying to basically be a perfectionist. And I'm going to actually discourage you from that. That is tip number 2, complete the battle and move on. And this is why you're going to have 2 weeks to complete the event. Just get the battle done, move on. And once you complete a battle, this is something a lot of people don't realize they're getting hung up on. When you do a battle, you have to select the thing that's after the battle, and it will say you have to confirm it. If you don't confirm it, you're just going to be stuck. And if you go to the next battle, it will just show a timer of 5 minutes. You'll never get to do that battle, and you'll think, why is this timer not moving down? And that's because you haven't gone back here and confirmed this. You have to confirm this section, and then it will unlock and open up the next battle, and then you can do the next battle. There's never a timer or a wait period. You can continue to go, but just do the battle, confirm this, move on to the next battle, continue. And even if you drop some key cards along the way, it's okay. And this is why you want to unlock as many key cards and as many battles as humanly possible on the first whack as possible to reduce the amount. For example, when you battle, you'll notice every character, let me click on this little plus, every character has what we call stamina, and that stamina is reduced. If you get OCD like me and you start doing multiple battles over and over to try to, make it perfect, your stamina will be reduced and your character becomes less effective for every subsequent battle. And you want to try and get as many battles or as many key cards as possible out of these characters without replicating that. And then when they revive over the next few weeks, you can take them back in to these previous battles and you can clean those battles up. So I would highly recommend you not, sit on a node and try and just get every single one. Once you're done with this battle, move on, click it, confirm it, move on. One little pro tip, once you're done with the boss battle and you're waiting for the next sector to unlock, you do have to go to the data disk stockpile after the boss battle, and you actually have to select a data disk or it won't unlock sector 3 or sector 4. You have to actually do that. And so once you select that from after the boss battle, then the next sector is going to unlock. So just select, move on, destroy, and allow things to naturally regenerate. And then once you're done unlocking as far as you can possibly go, then once you have things starting to regenerate, you can go back to previous battles won, and you can take the teams that are going to win and try to get better, higher star levels on those and try to increase the number of key cards that you got out of those to just increase the overall value of your basket at the end of this event. All right, about now, most of you are veterans playing this already. You've probably cleared all 5 sections and you're going, Warrior, I know everything you just said. This is crazy or this is silly. I'm not really sure I'm going to learn anything from this video, and I'm going to tell you something. Hopefully this next section is going to teach you something. The data disks are not all created equal. In fact, some of the data disks are literally the exact same with a different rarity, and so we're going to take a look at that. First off, there's 12 capability as far as the stars that you, or the dots that you can put in. We all knew that going in. So you're going to have to mix and match and decide. And we all knew that going in. However, there is a different rarity level, kind of like a common, uncommon, rare, and legendary, if you will. And the further along you go, the better the data disks become and the better that they offer data disk wise. And so we're going to take a look at the data disks really quick because I want to show you what I mean. So you can see the coloring. The white are common, and they list them by the 1 dot, 2 dot, then 3 dot, then 4 dot. The white is kind of the common, the green is the uncommon, the blue is the rare, and the green is the like legendary. And if you look at a specific thing, such as, I'm going to give you an example, vitality, because I've got a vitality in here. All right, so this vitality right here is white. It's a common vitality that you pick up earlier in the game. It costs 2 for your data capacity, and it gives allied units 27% max health and 22% max protection. That's 2 against your 12 capacity. It's white and it's common. Now, if you go up, you'll see I have another vitality that's 2 as well. It does the exact same thing for health and protection, but instead of the 27% max health, it's 35% max health. And instead of the 22% max protection, it's 28% max protection. So it's better health and better protection. That's the green versus the white, because the green is uncommon where the white was common. Same cost, data capacity wise, but it's a better version of itself. This color coding is important. There's a reason why they color coded everything. It was to be a visual cue for your eyes, so that way you would know when looking what is good or what isn't. So the dots don't always represent what's good or what isn't. It doesn't mean something with 4 dots is better. It doesn't mean something with 1 dot is not good. What it means is that sometimes the value of something isn't that big a deal. So it's only going to cost 1 dot, or something's, super valuable. For example, this booming voice I have costs 4, and it's whenever an allied unit is in the leader slot, it uses an ability. All other allies are called to assist. Every time my leader goes, everybody assists. This is a mass assist by my leader going every single time. This one's amazing. Of course, they're going to take 4 of my data capacity to utilize this. It's a really, really great ability. And so that's why they did that. But not all of these data disks are created equal. For example, like I said, vitality. The same is true. There's a power that is green, and there's a power that is white. And the white power has less offensive give and less critical damage give. So you really need to pay attention when you're combining these. And as you start to go through and start to unlock them, if you see a better version of oneself, select it and replace it. If it's the one that you're utilizing, if it's one you like that you're using, make sure you're selecting it. And then there is a pro tip. There's a question a lot of people have, which is, could you have 2 vitalities? Could you have 2 vitalities and do they stack? And the answer is yes. Every single thing goes towards your data capacity, but every single thing you put into this left side, aka the equipped data disks, do stack onto your abilities and or stats of your character. So you could, in fact, do 2 vitalities or 2 powers or 2 whatever, or 3 or whatever, depending on how many you had, because you're limited by the data capacity. But just remember the color coding. White is common, green is uncommon, blue is rare, and the purple is like kind of like legendary, if you will. Number 4 comes basically right out of where the data discs are, and this is the consumables, and you're going to get currency. You know, you're going to be limited by how many conquest credits that you get. Only 3,500 can you have, and I've looked in the store, and to be frank, there's not a whole lot of good stuff. There's not very good characters. They're all characters you can farm elsewhere for the most part, or characters that you probably already have or don't want, and the gear is all gear that you probably have a stockpile of, or gear that you probably don't need or don't want. And so they're trying to tempt you with that superficiality of those characters or gear on the bottom of it. But in reality, there's a cap on this. And so what I would professionally recommend, and I'm going to sell you on this, and I'm hoping that you listen, because this is really tip number 4, and that is use your currency to get yourself higher and use them on the consumables. And the consumables are important, and this is why. Your team will be good with consumables. They will be really, really, really good, and you're going to get many more battles done. And with those battles done, you're going to earn more key cards, and with more key cards, you're going to earn a better reward. And we're going to talk about that in a second. With this, you could probably save up 3,500, hoard 3,500, and, you know, maybe someday they drop something semi-okay in there, but more than likely not. Really what they've built this for is for the disposable consumables. And so that's what they built it for. And so that's what I'd recommend you buy. These consumables, though, make a massive impact on the battle. For example, I have this booster in here. If you click it, it tells you what it does. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. If I wanted to do another booster and I click this, it says, do you want to replace it? Don't. Do not replace one for the other, because the one you replace is gone. It does not go back into your inventory. A lot of people don't know this. If you do this, you just lose the one that you had that had battles remaining on it. So cancel that. Use what's available on it, and then when it's gone, it'll just disappear, and then you can put a new one in that empty slot. But don't replace with one, or you'll lose the remaining battles that you have. It'll show down here what it does, so 27% critical damage. It shows it's good for 4 battles, and then in the red, it shows how many remaining battles that you have. I have 1 remaining battle. And then below it shows your inventory. I've got, this one that does, defense penetration for 4 turns. This one is amazing. 2 turns, 37% more speed for my team. Tell me that's not awesome. This one, 122% more defense for my team. This one, 61% critical chance. So pretty good. And then on the med packs, same thing. This one has 1 battle left, so I don't want to move it, but I have some good ones. This is 98% more protection. This one has 122% more max health. That's a good one. This one is 61% health steal. And then this one is 27% health steal. Now, just like the data discs had common, uncommon, rare, and legendary, so do consumables. I know, right? And the way you know is when you look at the consumable, there's little parentheses on the left and the right that are either white, green, blue, so on and so forth. And so if you look at this particular one, look at the little sides, they're white and white. The duration for a common is going to be 4 battles. Those are good. Common are good because they don't cost much. They cost like 8 currency, and they're going to give you 4 battles of boosting, and that's really, really good. That's my Warrior Pro tip for sure. These with the green are going to be rarer. They only last 2 battles, but they do give a significant boost to your team. If you can pick these up throughout your battles at the little Jawa stations, these are some of them that you should probably get for some of the more difficult battles that you realize, I'm probably not going to win this battle. I don't think I'm going to, I'm going to pull this off, but I don't know how good I'm going to pull off or whatever. Or maybe for the boss battle, things like that. If you're trying to pull off some weird battle where you're trying to do turn meter reduction or something to that effect, where you need to survive for a period of time, that's what I would recommend those for. So remember, it's funny, they color code things with your eyes specifically, so that way you'll be paying attention to that. Some people recognize that, some people don't. Now, tip number 5, I know this is going to sound obvious, but You need to read your combat details. When you're in here, you've got little arrows next to your enemies. And when you click it, there's going to be things called modifiers, which are going to show what the enemy gets more than just the basic team. And these are going to be modifiers such as this one, malicious minions. It shows the get extra speed, health, protection, damage, so on and so forth. That's really good. And over prepared, health, protection, offense, speed. This really makes for this really, really tough team. But it's super important you read all of these in every single level, because sometimes there's a key in the modifier on how you're going to win this specific battle. For example, on this particular boss battle in Sector 2, if you click Boxed In, it will tell you that at the start of your encounter, you're inflicted with healing immunity, which can't be dispelled or prevented, and all players also receive dots. At the start of your encounter, you can attack a crate. Anytime that one of your players attacks the crate, they receive an additional plus 10 health and protection to plus 10%. And then all the dots that were applied this way are removed. So basically your characters can hit this neutral box and clean themselves up and restore health and protection, which is kind of a unique, funny, silly, goofy mechanic that they added into this boss battle. Dorky, I know, but that is something they decided to put in here. So make sure you're reading these combat details. Another example is in Sector 4, this boss battle. When we go past that is Wait For It. Wait For It says that basically you want to wait for killing the boss. You want to make sure you kill everybody else first, because it cripples the boss by killing everyone but the boss. And if you don't, you're going to pay for it. The boss has 100% counter chance, tenacity, critical chance, defense, and he'll dispel all debuffs on himself and gain 10% turn meter whenever they take damage. He's basically immune to damage. You know what I mean? He gets faster and counter chance. I mean, the guy's going to just destroy you. But if you go after the other people, as soon as you kill someone, he'll get daze and health down. Kill someone else, he'll get vulnerable and unable to critically hit you. And then the third person that falls, he'll get tenacity down in 10 stacks of armor shred. He basically becomes someone that's easy peasy to kill. So it's funny, you could go into this battle, if you didn't read the modifier, you just go right after him, because that's what you want to do, right? Kill C, kill him as fast as you can. But if you did, he would just decimate your team with all of his tenacity and counter and retribution and all that stuff. He would just dominate you, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, this boss battle is terrible. But if you ignore him and just kill everybody else, it cripples him. So they built in a way to win this boss battle pretty easily. And then again, like I mentioned before, when you're scrolling through, make sure you look for the feats to see what other key cards can you get within this battle. Tip number 6 is when you're about to go into a battle, a couple of things. Click the plus, because you can actually see how much stamina has affected your particular character. And I'm going to give you a pro tip. If your stamina is under 50% on your team, don't use the team. They're ineffective. You're probably going to get a loss, and you're going to waste consumables, waste energy, and waste the team. So it's just kind of pointless to go in and do a battle if you know you're going to waste consumables and waste energy if they're under 50%. So I highly recommend that. But if you click the plus, a lot of people didn't know, if you click the plus, you can see how degraded an individual character is. And what's funny, if this team was at 100%, I could walk through this battle, but at 40%, this team gets stomped. And so it's really, really important. Now, with the consumables to the left where it says add more, if I had them, which I don't, I was getting them with my, not with crystals, but with the little credits that they give you, the conquest credits, the stim packs. I don't have any more stim packs, but I buy them every time it gets refreshed. Now, keep in mind, you got 2 weeks to do this, but you could be refreshing this store. This is obviously a whale store. You could be refreshing and getting as many stim packs as needed for those teams, and you could be flying through this in a day or two. I think that's the idea for whales, but for other people, every refresh, you can go in here and get this with your currency. The stuff's really pretty cheap, 8 to 15 per stim pack, and a stim pack, a medium or a large, does quite a bit. And then naturally every 30 minutes, you're going to get this stamina to recover 1%. So these characters are going to naturally regenerate over the next, few days naturally. And so you're going to be able to reuse these teams a couple of times in 2 weeks, which is going to give you that opportunity, which is why I said use them each team can be used about 5 battles. And then I would abandon them, because after that, they really become ineffective. Now, pro tip, if you lose, you don't lose any more stamina. A lot of people didn't know that either. If all of my characters like this at 28, 39, 29, 49, 59, if everyone was here and I go into a battle and I lose, I don't lose another 10% stamina, because you lose 10% stamina per battle, 1. But if you lose no stamina whatsoever. So you don't lose any stamina for a lost battle. What do you lose? You lose the energy that you accrued or spent a refresh on. You lose the energy. And if you had consumables activated, you would lose those consumables. And those consumables are highly effective when your team is over 50%. But once they're under 50%, they become ineffective. My professional recommendation is do not use a team that looks like this. And lastly, make sure you actually click on your event rewards to go through as you're progressing, and click on these little checkmark boxes as you go through. There's little instant rewards you can get, and you can click them, but you don't actually get them till you click them. So make sure that you're clicking them as you go through to get your instant rewards. And then remember, kind of pro tip for number 7 as well, is you can always go back in time to these other previous battles once you've gone as far as you can go, and you can always allow over the next few weeks your stamina to regenerate and go back and clean up anything that's not 3 for 3 later on. So on your first run, if you get a 1 for 3 or a 2 for 3, don't worry about it. Keep moving on, and make sure after your battle you select the next thing and confirm it so you can keep moving on. I hope that this video helps you guys. These top 7 things help you, the key cards, where they're coming from, completing the battle, selecting the next thing and moving on, the data discs, their rarity, the consumables, how those worked, battles, reading the combat details, clicking the plus and showing the stats and all of that. And then just a loss doesn't affect your stamina, that kind of thing. And then making sure you collect your instant rewards. I hope all of this helps you guys in this conquest mode. I've had a lot of fun over the last couple of days. It's been great fun. I'm just kind of allowing my energy to refresh and my stamina to refresh. And I will go back and get the last few key cards that I need from those Sector 3, Sector 4 over time, and then I'm going to complete Sector 5 probably sometime in the next couple of days, and then I'll go and clean up the key cards over the next few weeks to maximize my rewards. Normal has been a lot of fun. I would love to hear your comments down below about what you love about this. Also, if you learned anything from this video, leave a comment down below, and as always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.